It started out like any other weekend get-together, a blur of laughter, idle chatter, and mellow music humming beneath soft, amber lights. Friends, co-workers, and strangers mingled in the comfortable haze at a dinner party hosted by one of my wife's colleagues. I stood near the bar, talking with a buddy from work, when my gaze drifted across the room and landed on Emily. She looked stunning in a red silk dress that shimmered each time she moved. But it wasn't her beauty that caught me off guard. It was her behavior. She stood far too close to a man I didn't recognize. Each time she laughed, her hand brushed his arm, light, deliberate, her posture open, inviting. His confidence was almost smug, and hers mirrored it perfectly. My stomach knotted, anger and disappointment twisting together into something familiar. The subtle touches, the whispered words, the glances meant to look innocent. I'd seen them before. I told myself to stay calm, to breathe, but the longer I watched, the more I realized the woman in front of me wasn't the same one who once held my hand like it was her lifeline. When I finally walked over, she looked startled for a moment before slipping on her usual charm. "Hey, babe," she greeted, her smile practiced, her eyes empty. "This is Nick. He's new at work." Nick extended his hand, casual grin in place. "Nice to meet you," he said smoothly. I shook his hand, firm, deliberate. Emily giggled, resting her hand on his shoulder like it was nothing. "Relax," she teased. "We were just saying a little harmless flirting keeps things exciting." Laughter rippled through the small circle around us. Everyone laughed, except me. I looked at her, really looked, the playful tilt of her chin, that glint in her eyes that thrived on attention, and something inside me clicked. I smiled faintly. "You're right, Emily," I said quietly. "Being single will probably be fun, too." The laughter stopped cold. Her smile faltered, the color draining from her face. "Wait, what do you mean, single?" she asked, her voice trembling. I didn't answer. I didn't have to. I turned and walked away, leaving her standing there, surrounded by people suddenly too polite to meet her eyes. As I reached the door, I heard her voice crack through the noise behind me, desperate, pleading. "Jason, come on. It was just a joke." But it wasn't. Not to me. It was a final fracture in something that had been splintering for years. When we got home, the silence felt heavier than any argument we'd ever had. She tossed her purse onto the couch and tried to play it off. "You're really mad about that?" I was just being friendly. I met her gaze, calm, tired. "Friendly as saying hello, Emily. What you did was disrespectful." Her smirk wavered. "Oh, come on. You're overreacting." I let out a quiet, humorless laugh. "No, I'm finally reacting. There's a difference." I walked to the bedroom and started packing a suitcase. Panic replaced her confidence. "You can't be serious. You're leaving over a joke." I zipped the bag and faced her. "You said flirting was harmless fun." I said evenly. "Then I guess being single will be harmless too." Her voice broke, tears spilling down her cheeks. "Jason, please don't do this." But I was already gone, in every way that mattered. I'd spent years forgiving the late-night texts, the vague girls' nights, and her constant need for validation from other men. Every time, she brushed it off with, "It's nothing serious. Don't be jealous." Jealousy was never the issue. The issue was a quiet betrayal hidden behind every excuse. I walked past her, the door closing behind me with a sound that felt like freedom. The next few days brought a storm of calls and messages, paragraphs of apologies, promises of change, words soaked in regret. But I didn't respond. Every line sounded rehearsed, recycled from mistakes long forgiven. She didn't miss me. She missed knowing I'd always come back. The truth was, she'd stopped respecting me long before that night. The dinner party simply made it impossible to keep pretending. Weeks later, a mutual friend told me she'd become a ghost of herself. "She barely talks to anyone," he said. "Keeps asking if you're really gone for good." I told him the truth. Because once you watch the person you love laugh with someone else the way she used to laugh with you, something inside you doesn't heal. It just changes. A month later, she showed up at my new place. Eyes red, face pale. "Jason, please," she whispered. "I was stupid. I took you for granted. I'll do anything to fix this." I listened silently, arms crossed. You can't fix what you chose to break, I said. She reached for my hand, but I stepped back gently. You didn't lose me that night, Emily. You lost me every time you laughed at my trust. I closed the door softly. No anger, no bitterness. Just peace. In the months that followed, I rebuilt my life. New city, quiet apartment, a job untouched by her memory. Sometimes I'd think about that night, the way her laughter died when I said those words. Being single will be fun, too. That silence said everything. Now, when people ask what happened between us, I don't give details. I just smile and say, she thought flirting was harmless fun. I thought self-respect was, too. And choosing it was the best decision I ever made.